Mexico wins the biggest Smash 4 tournament of all time, a party game with convention rule sets happening this weekend, and the Panda Global Pajama Gang, whatever you want to call it, top 10 rankings officially revealed. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Gloves Off podcast, your one-stop shop for all things Super Smash Bros. News and news adjacent. As always, I am one of your many co-hosts, Master Hand Games Koopa, and joined this week, as always, as I am all the time, almost for a year straight. Fun fact: we are approaching our 1 year podcast weekly anniversary. The John Lennon to my Paul McCartney, Mr. Chris EX.
Dude, I thought you were going to introduce me as your adjacent co-host when you said adjacent. I was hanging on that for a bit, but what's going on, man?
A whole lot of nothing. And joining us impromptu, last second, and bailing us out as always. Originally, Hazmat was going to join us, but he got tied up with some other stuff. So I phoned in a friend, and who better to have on the podcast to discuss a multitude of things, such as EVO, and as well as a literal tank in an anime fighting game being added as downloadable content. Frank in the car, everybody's favorite caller, Hangman. What's going on, man?
Verily. We really do have a tank in Blaze Blue Cross Tank Battle, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, it was somebody's job to design that. We'll talk about that in a bit. So yeah, so this is our this is a whole, obviously, because you can tell by the layout if you're watching this on YouTube. This is our post EVO tournament. EVO obviously happening this past weekend, the largest Smash Ultimate tournament of all time. As well as we're going to be talking about that. A lot of cool stuff coming out of that. Very interesting storylines. Also bleeding into this weekend's big event, which all of us are leaving to within the next couple days. Presumably, we're all leaving tomorrow because everything starts on Friday. But Super Smash Con happening this weekend. We'll talk about that, as well as the top 10 of the Panda Global Rankings. Its first edition being announced. There's a little bit of I don't want to even say a little bit. There's some controversy to come with this, but we can get there when we get there, and we'll probably talk about some other stuff along the way because nobody goes on a tangent like the Gloves Off podcast does.
Got that right. Tangent with the best of them.
Big facts.
They call us Big Tangent. So obviously the big topic at hand is that EVO 2019 came and went this weekend, and I gotta say I was a little apprehensive going into this tournament, whether it be from like the last time that Smash had the main stage at EVO, at least a game that was a Smash game that wasn't Melee. Things weren't as, things could have been a little bit better, whether it be the people that showed up and also, Bayonetta killing people sub 60. And I don't know if it was that made me apprehensive, or like the Sea of Locusts and the cars on fire that I saw outside of Vegas while people were traveling, or the copious amounts of money that my friends probably gambled and lost. So I don't know how much of EVO you guys were able to watch, but what were your initial impressions?
I got to watch a lot of it, and honestly, it looked like it looked like the largest fighting game tournament. And honestly, it Smash set records viewership wise. I think it was at like 200. It was 200,000+ people watching, which is incredible. And that was a huge step up since you already mentioned last year, where we had Bayonetta dittos and somewhat of a joke made of it. I think at one point we had like a Mexican standoff with the Bayonetta guns and all that. And then this year we ended up with a pretty epic grand finals, MK Leo and Tweak, which was, you can't ask for anything better. I mean, that's first and second best players in the world. Again, we will get to the global ranks in a bit, but that's a big deal. Like that's what a big tournament looks like. Had pretty much everything you were looking for, at least from my point of view.
How about you, Frank?
So this was actually the first year in nearly half a decade where I couldn't sit down and watch a lot of streams. I happen to have been very busy this weekend with my baby sister's birthday, as well as Long Island Summer Splat.
Yes, that's right.
At Ion. So I was a bit hectic in trying to follow things through social media, but to that end, it was a very exciting EVO this year. Not even just for Smash, for a lot of games. There's a lot to talk about across the fields of good and bad. But I think as far as championships go, a lot of games had some good ends. A lot of them had decent representation on a global scale, which is what a lot of people like to look at for the main stage games at EVO. And from what I heard, a lot of the side events were treated with a lot of respect this year, which is unfortunately not the case typically, but a very pleasant surprise to be.
Yeah, I completely echo your sentiments because this is the first Evo in a while where I've gotten to sit down and like watch a lot of what's going on. So a lot of the games that finished on Saturday were Dragon Ball Fighters, which was I believe a main stage game last year. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a main stage game last year. Was delegated to the Saturday shift this year. I believe Samurai Showdown and there's another game I'm missing. Soul Calibur 6, I believe, finished on Saturday as well.
Correct.
All of which had major storylines in it, both good and bad. I think I'll start on the sour note. Obviously, Infiltration making his return left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths because obviously with the controversy surrounding him. But he took gold in Sam's show in its first showing at Evo. That game is surprisingly very interesting to watch. I didn't know how I would respond to it, but from what I saw, I didn't feel like I wasted my time, and it definitely didn't feel like the game was a waste of a slot.
Fun fact about Samurai Showdown's top 8. 7 out of the 8 top 8 participants were previous EVO champions of different games.
That's true. Yes.
Wow.
So it was definitely like filled to the brim with greatness. And obviously, looking at the other stuff that happened, Soul Calibur 6 saw its first. Was it the first ever woman in top 8?
For SoCal?
For Soul Calibur? I'm not totally sure off the top of my head. I can't say ever because obviously Ricky Ortiz has been playing for a while. So
yeah, I know between Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter and Marvel, there's been several women in top 8, but for Soul Calibur specifically, I think it may have been. At the very least, for Soul Calibur 6 on the main stage for EVO, as I believe this is its first year.
Yes, I'm actually gonna look. The name is escaping me. I have to look this up. Forgive me. But yeah, obviously, as I look that up, the other big news coming out this weekend, or at least from those games on Saturday, is that Goichi making his winning his first ever gold prize in a Dragon Ball Fighters competition, which is alarming to me.
Yeah, I mean the stage has been set for an amazing plot in Fighters when it comes to the rivalry between Sonic Fox and Goichi. And while there's plenty of other talented players, it always ends up boiling down to a very entertaining show of force between those two. So the fact that it finally happened for Goichi is pretty heartwarming for a lot of viewers, whether it be fans of Dragon Ball Fighters, people who don't like Sonic Fox, people who specifically like Goichi, what have you. It was a good ending, especially because it ended up being, I believe, in total 15 games between the two of them in top 8.
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh,
yes.
God.
Which, me personally, I'm always rooting for a candle burner when it comes to set counts.
Oh yeah. You were gonna say something else, Chris, before? I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna tell you the name of the Soul Calibur chick is Kayana.
Kayana, thank you. Okay. Yeah, so shout out to her. And I saved Dragon Ball for last on purpose because I did want to transition that into obviously the Smash side of things because you got to see an incredible display between rivals. Both on the sticks and you can just a lot of people were tweeting about this after the fact, but just seeing the respect that those two have for each other, that clip of Sonic Fox just rolling out the chair to Goichi after losers finals gave me chills. And obviously watching him pop off and break down into tears after he finally won the competition, it was a thing of beauty. And it just speaks for having a rival that pushes you to those limits that makes you want to be better. And there's very few rivalries in the FGC quite like Sonic Fox and Goichi. But that also leads me into talking about Smash as we take a look at some of the fantastic combo work of Dragon Ball Fighters on screen. That game is great, by the way. Everybody should be playing. That game is very far from dead. I heard a lot of people say that is a dead game. That is far from the case.
I feel like that game in general is interesting just because it's okay. So it's really hard to be a really popular fighting game, except for if you're Smash Brothers, you have this whole roster of characters that people know from decades worth of gaming, right? So it's hard to really make that happen in other fighters where you draw an audience just looking for a character. But Dragon Ball Z is the next closest because it's kind of legendary as far as anime goes. So it's it works enough with the characters. The fighting mechanics are really good in the game, so it's just enough. But the gameplay is really fun to watch, as you already mentioned. That's for sure.
Yeah, without a doubt. And obviously you saw one impressive display from Rivals, and that translated very well to the Sunday main stage. And we'll obviously go back and tackle the other games in a bit because everything was just so good. Like Hangman was saying earlier, is that there's just so like this is a really good Sunday for Evo, and like even like I've seen it in years past where like one game's kind of a dud, like not everybody's like super hyped for it. Oh, did I?
Happened,
Never mind.
dude. It happened last year with Smash. People hated it.
Yeah,
It was terrible. Everyone was so upset. And then it's funny because Evo already kind of had the reputation of not necessarily treating Smash the right way, and the tournaments were always kind of lackluster.
Well, for what it's worth, Smash 4 last year had a reputation of having one of the worst top 8 since Injustice 1's first year. So it's not even just like infamous in the perspective of Smash, but like in Evo history. So at least everyone can hold the L.
Yeah,
we hold it together.
What the funny part is in the middle of the top 8 for Ultimate, they basically just bypassed last year's Evo. They were showing like the last relevant Evo, which I think was like Zero versus was it Zero MKLeo? What was it? It was something.
They did show
Zero Salem.
Zero Salem, that's what it was. Thank you.
They did show one clip that popped up during the top 8, which set me for this weird fever dream where they showed Raito versus Elegant for top 8.
Oh my god!
And they showed that for a minute, and I'm just like, why am I watching this right now?
Yeah.
Like it was quite jarring, but that was also I think that was the set where like somebody was recording from the stage, and they saw Raito popped off, but then Elegant walks into frame at the last second and just drops an F-bomb, and it shouldn't be as funny as it is, but it is. But yeah, so Smash Top 8 was absolutely amazing, and another great testament of rivalry is in Smash because MKLeo and Tweak put on a show for everybody, and the amount of ice that is in Leo's veins in which he was able to grasp this tournament from the I'm just like picturing that scene from Hercules where he dives into like the dead souls to try to save Meg, and like they're about to cut the string to kill him, and then like he turns into a god, and that's literally what happened. Like that game 4 heard around the world. My God, I don't know how you guys felt, but
I haven't seen a bracket meltdown that bad since probably the New York Mets in like 2008. Like it was pretty legendary amounts of like descent into madness. That being said, Tweak took the loss very well.
Yeah.
Like you would think, like seeing the world fall apart in your hands like that in fairly quick succession would be beyond heartbreaking, and I'm sure it is to him. But he was very respectful to Leo and responded to criticisms and comments online very well the next day.
Character development, baby.
Yeah, well, I mean, he still considers, and I mean, I would say he still is, Pokemon Trainer's still like a new character for him, comparatively. I mean, I guess maybe not. I don't know, man.
It is. That's why I'm laughing, because like I feel like people forget
well,
this
so
because...
the reason I'm saying is because like he has been here grinding now for like a solid month. So it's just like it is still a new character because like he also had his Wario that he hates now. I know he said he has like a bittersweet love-hate kind of relationship with Wario, and then he had like the Roy for a while. And
Ridley.
Then Ridley for some reason.
Young Link.
Young Link was like a little phase, and then like now he's got this trainer, and he seems to be kind of sticking with it. And I think I saw a tweet saying he's looking forward to even trying out the new patch because obviously Evo was pre-patch 4.0.0. So he seems excited about the character though. So like it's kind of fun seeing that in general.
This is why Tweak is like probably like a top 3, like not even just Smash player, like one of my top 3 favorite like FGC players of all time. Because of that, the sheer unpredictability of what he brings to the table is what just makes him such a spectacle to watch. Like I've seen it too many times where he'll show up to a tournament and just be like, yeah, I just want to play this character, and then he'll fucking win or get top 8 or get second place. Like he did that with Wario. People forget that. Like he showed us the Let's Make Moves, and he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna play Wario, and then he does it, and then he wins the fucking tournament, and then he's like, yeah, I'm gonna play Pokemon Trainer, and then starts kicking all of our asses and getting winning tournaments in Tri-State, and then getting second place at EVO with the character he's been playing for a little over a month. And that's why he's like one of my favorite players to watch. And it's just a thing of beauty, and that top 8 was so good, man. Like for Leo to reverse 3-stock tweak, and then to win 6 straight games.
Yeah.
Cold-blooded murderer. There's a chalk outline on the stage.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's unheard of at any level of competition in most games, and especially so at Smash. But to see it at the top is, I feel like to say it's impressive is a disservice to what happened.
Yeah, he.
No, yeah, I agree. Like
it looked like it was over.
It doesn't speak because looking at Leo's loser run, like it's not as like, you know, it's not gonna in lengthwise, it's not gonna be as impressive as like some other losers runs you've seen at EVO. Like one that comes to mind is Luffy's run in 2014, where he literally beat fucking everybody to win the tournament for Street Fighter 4.
That was a legendary top. That was a legendary top 16. Like the whole damn top 16 is godlike.
Yeah, I think his set count it was like 17-1 or something like that. It was something fucking insane. But that's like one of the most historic losers runs of all time in tournaments. But this losers run, it was nothing to scoff at. He had to like essentially erase the top 20 by himself to do this. Like I think Proto Bantam is the only like outlier. I actually forget, was he on the PGR?
Well, I mean, there's Kameme who had to put him into losers.
Right, that's what I mean.
Which that in itself is a accomplishment in its own right.
Yes, and Kameme didn't even make top 8. Like, let's just let that ring home for a second.
He was very
that's
close.
how stacked the tournament was. That's gotta like, that's like one of the worst like feelings in my opinion. Where like when you beat the player and then you don't make top 8. Like I think that happened to Sam Sora at a DreamHack where he beat 0 and then he got like 9th place to Anti or something like that. So
feels bad.
It be like that.
But yes,
I'm curious how that reflects in the PGR.
Which
like a 1 on the card for MK Leo. Wait, did I disconnect?
No, you're good. You're good.
Am I dead?
You are alive.
Oh, Chris's kill. Oh, rip Chris.
Oh, I could hear you though, just fine. Hold up. Let me hold on just a moment. Joining that call. There we are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was actually able to hear you guys. But,
okay.
But I just reconnected anyways, so it's all good.
Okay. Yeah, we couldn't hear you. Okay, anyway, we'll edit that out in post.
No, we won't.
Nonetheless, no, we won't. We definitely won't. We don't edit anything around here. What are we talking about? But yeah, it was definitely like we were saying. Like him to lose to Kameme kind of bodied him too. Like Leo was making very uncharacteristic like mistakes, and you know I don't know if it's just like unfamiliarity with fighting Mega Man, which cough it probably is. Not a lot of people play that character, but Kameme played out of his gourd, and you know, obviously the losers run for Leo was very impressive. He had to beat who do you have to beat to get in the top 8? God, I don't remember. I forget already.
Wait, who's this to get in the top 8? Leo. Hold on, let me just look at.
Who is it? I know who it is on the tip of my tongue. Gosh,
let us just look at the Smash GG. He had to beat. Hold on, where does it go all the way down? Where is this? Zachary.
Well, I mean, like, before that.
Oh, Abadongo.
Okay. I lose for a second. It should do be. But yeah, Abadongo. Then he demolished right now.
Oh no, we're getting a bad connection. Hold on, let me.
Oh, is that just Koopa? I thought that was me.
No. I'm hearing that too.
Okay, so it's Koopa who's exploded. Nice.
Yeah, I think we figured it out.
All right, I'm gonna pick up the baton where he left off, and just follow it up with the fact that Leo played immaculately in every matchup that he ran into. Now, I've gone on the record saying I'm not a fan of MK Leo, but he happens to play Joker. So I'm at a crossroads of studying him very carefully, and let me tell you, it's actually art how well he plays each matchup. From how well he's able to force someone to the ledge, to how well he can edge guard them, to how consistent he is with drag down, up air, linking into either another combo, some sort of set play involving grabs, or just outright kill it.
Yeah,
it's quite evident that Arsene can cook the hell out of anyone with minimal effort, but where Leo was consistently taking stocks with or without Arsene, I think people need to realize, like, it really is behind the player. Like,
So
Leo could do the same as Tweak, pick up anyone and massacre everyone.
that was going to be my question to you. Is I mean, there's always the does Leo carry Joker, Joker carry Leo? But I'm pretty sure if I saw correctly that there wasn't even another Joker in like the top 64 or whatever. I think Leo was like the only one.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, someone had actually tallied up a list of the characters represented throughout the top 256 of EVO. And Joker had only occupied, I think, like 6 spots amongst them, which
Not
you would think
much.
for a character that's well regarded as being really good and could carry players. I mean, you could make the argument that it carries Leo, but I feel like that falls immediately once you look at Leo's records. I digress. You would think you'd see more of the character, but I think it's a combination of Joker is a well-designed character that also has like the X factor of Arsene behind him, and Leo has a good understanding of how to abuse Joker's tools with or without Arsene. On top of that, I feel like Joker matches Leo's playstyle. Like if you look at Leo's Meta Knight in Smash 4, or parts of his Marth, not all of his Marth, but like parts of his Marth, you could see that the way that he's trying to deny people the ability to either land safely or move around safely are very similar to what he does with Joker, how he denies a lot of space with narrow back air.
Yeah, he's I don't know, man, because I feel like Arsene is basically Brawl Meta Knight, and then like Joker's an actual like pretty well balanced character.
Can you guys hear me, by the way?
Yes, now I can.
Now we can.
Yes.
Okay.
He was revived.
Yeah, sorry, I like died, and then I came back.
Welcome back.
So, thanks, man. I try. But yeah, Leo's broken, and poor Duck Hunt Dog. My God.
Yeah, that's crazy. So Raito's pretty consistent at this point. We'll see if he becomes a Banjo main in the future. Probably not. But it's possible.
I gotta say, Raito is quickly becoming one of my favorite smashers. Not because of just how like goofy he is. My man knows how to dress.
He got the drip.
He's got great drip. My man dresses very well. But yeah, it was a fantastic top 8, and this entire top 32 was a joy to watch. Like, especially like once you got to, like I'm gonna be real, the first like 2 waves of EVO pools are incredibly boring to watch.
Oh yeah. That's big majors for you. Oh, hold on. Let us frozen again. All right, hold on. Let me leave call. Join call.
Stupid, it's brilliant option. It's actually one of the most chaotic things to side bet against. I highly recommend it.
I gotta say, shout outs to Double A versus Mr. Concon. That's probably my set of the tournament.
Wait, hold on. What happened in that set?
Oh, it was just like, basically Double A should have won because Double A is a shell player from Japan, and Mr. Concon tornadoed into a shield, and he was in Smash Monado. He was in Smash Art. He's basically just screaming forward smash me, blow on me, and I'll die. He forward smashes the wrong way, dies, and then he starts crying as Mr. Concon starts taking off his shirt.
Oh my God,
with
that's
fist
the
bump.
clip with him taking off his shirt. That is like the most awkward thing I think I've ever seen in my life.
It's probably one of the funniest things I've ever had the pleasure of
It's
witnessing.
so crazy. I gotta find it. It's so weird.
I don't know what it is with people popping off by stripping. I think I've seen it at least half a dozen times in my career of being around the FTC, and it never is comfortable any of the times.
Shout out to Pungo, man. It's all his fault.
Dude,
I'm
so,
just saying.
so strange. Literally a weird flex, but okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start taking my shirt off when commentary starts getting a little too hype.
Yo, that sounds like actually a good idea.
It sounds like an awful idea, actually, but I digress. But yeah, this top 8 was very, very fun to watch. I'd say as a welcoming party for Smash Ultimate, it definitely paid off. Like obviously, Wave 3 pools was kind of a bloodbath for a lot of players. Like Mars getting an uncharacteristic 13th, Nairo getting 17th. Obviously Leo dropping set before top 8. It was kind of a bloodbath. And then there's players like MVD that got like 65th. Like some players just straight up died. It was bad. But nonetheless, though, that's also the kind of the beauty and the hurt of best of 3 formats. I don't know how you guys felt about
Oh yeah,
that.
that's right. The whole tournament's basically best of 3 except for finals. That was another thing so
So
yeah, you go ahead. Go ahead, Frank.
best of 3 outside of Smash is fairly normal. Like, in order to justify anything higher than best of 3 early on, involves extreme circumstances. For instance, Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle is one of the few games that has the luxury of best of 5 fairly early on. I think it's like winners finals of pools, and then like everything outside of that is best of 5. But that's because the game is so fast that it actually can't run on schedule as best of 3. It'll
Really?
literally go too fast. Because
That's
sets can
unheard
be
of.
determined in a matter of minutes. Like, the game is abnormally fast, so that gets the luxury of best of 5. Ultimate, even though being notably faster than Smash 4, and not quite that different from Melee, it doesn't have that luxury, so it's got to play by the rules. And to that end, I think it's really interesting because it's a very different environment than what a lot of players are used to. Like, the fact that we regularly get top 32, 64, 96s, all best of 5, is a huge boon to a lot of players because it's a big test of their stamina. And it also allows for, a multitude of other things we can go into detail another time. But for the most part, it helps, like, weed out the chaff. And, it doesn't give you that pleasure.
All I can say is best of 3 from like a spectator standpoint was kind of nice, mostly because like not only did things go kind of quick, it sort of was like I don't know. There's that potential for something big to happen because as you mentioned, best of 5s is more of like an endurance game, and it's something that people have been advocating a lot for. Because I think there was at one point the whole validity of best of 5s being questioned back in Smash 4. And then like I don't know. I personally still like best of 5s, especially on like a big stage, but for something that kind of like Smash being a part of like a bigger stage with other fighting games, I understand the best of 3, and I actually did not hate watching it like that.
Yeah, I echo the same sentiments as you guys. Like, if we have to share the stage with like stuff like CEO and EVO for year if you have to, I'm totally fine with it. I think, like you said, as a spectator, it makes things just move a lot smoother, makes things easier to digest. And I only have to watch top players shit on people for 8 minutes as opposed to 15 minutes. So.
Yeah.
You guys bring up 2 really good points. Like, the tension in the sets helps write storylines much better. So it's a lot easier for like a casual audience to pick up and be like, hey, that guy's almost losing. He looks like he's good. This is a big deal. Like, you don't have to follow the scene. You don't have to know the storylines going in. You see that and you intrinsically understand, oh, this shit's hype. But on top of that, there's also the logistic matters of things.
Well, and then like just think about like as far as best of 3s versus best of 5s go, like just think about some of the sets that we saw that were like close, and then think about like grand finals, right? Like if the grand finals is best of 3 like everything else, Tweak wins the tournament like easy. But instead, in a best of 5 set, Leo has the opportunity to not just come back, but like end up reverse 6-0ing. So like it's 2 totally different things, really.
Yeah, it's something, and I definitely think it like paid off. I didn't think I wasn't really paying like too close of attention for like the results of things when things were getting weird, but I don't. And obviously, things could have been different in like a best of 3 set, but obviously, there's deadlines to meet, there's people to meet, babies to kiss, and you gotta keep on trucking. And I don't think the product suffered at all. I think between
No.
CEO and this, everything was absolutely fantastic.
Dude,
So
broke viewership records. There's like 240 something thousand people watching Smash, which is like
yeah,
insane. That's a lot of people.
I definitely have already like planned my trip to EVO 2020 next year, just because I want to go to Vegas and be a degenerate for a few days.
Yeah, man, why not? You
But
gotta do it at least once.
Yeah, for real, man. But so gone is Evo for another year. Obviously, another Evo moment thrown into the books. So that was a lot of fun, and hopefully Smash is back next year. Knock on wood. But as we trek forward, we are almost in the middle of August, fellas, which means that the summer of Smash is slowly winding down, and one of the next flag poles to fall is coming up this weekend in Super Smash Con 2019. Happened this weekend, like we said. The first Smash Con for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I don't remember the final entrant count. I'm just going to assume it's very large.
It's 2,700.
Sweet, mama.
Yeah.
is big tournament.
And you got
Big.
all the people you want to see there, including MKLeo and Tweak, of course, Mars, Samsora, DeBuzz, Shuton, Nairo, Zach Ray, Cosmos, Void, Light, Esam, Salem, Wishes, MDD, Wadi, Dark Wizzy, and the list just keeps going. Like it's.
But I wanted to see Proto ban him, but he got kidney stones.
Did he actually? Oh my God, that sounds awful.
Yeah, he was originally
Yeah.
planning to go to SmashCon, but he had to withdraw due to kidney
Oh
stones.
no, poor guy. That's so painful. So
Yeah,
so
man.
I've heard.
Yeah, watching him play, by the way, whew, I nut. My man was schmoovin'. I'm still looking
Oh,
for
yeah.
Light. I hope he's
For
okay.
for people, not after the first stock of that set he is. But for people who are unaware of Proto Hunt, because I was actually very surprised. Like as someone who follows the Japanese scene, like I know that man's been a terror, like out the gate. So for people who are like, oh, I've never heard of this guy, he's probably just another hyped up Japanese player. Like the terror that must strike into people when they see how he plays Lucina.
And
Yeah.
his inklings. My man is honorary tri-state for the grime of looking up throw, up air percents on the Halo platform in between stocks. My man is a god.
Yeah.
I heard
I'm gonna-
that was so funny.
All I'm gonna say is, if you think Lucina is a boring character, watching him play, then you got a problem. Like,
I'm adding everybody in the chat right now. If there was one, I'm adding all of them.
Like
But-
real recognizes real. Like he knew what it took to win.
Yeah, without a doubt. But
Unfortunately, it only got him to what, 5th?
5th place, yes. Not bad though.
yeah,
Definitely
not
No,
bad at
not bad
all.
in the slightest. But like, considering how he was playing leading up to that, and then how it just sort of goes out like a light, pun not intended.
If you actually look at the players he's lost to since coming to the States, he's only dropped sets to I think Leo, Nairo, Tweak, and am I missing somebody else? Samsora. So
There you go.
he's only dropped sets to like the top of the top. So my man's consistent. But that's neither here nor there as we move on to Super Smash Con. Like we said, so this event is easily one of my favorite of the summer as a attendee, just because A, it's a convention and I love conventions, and B, because it's a great collection of like, the stuff that's hot in the community right now, as well as like the island of misfit toys that is Smash 64 and Super Smash Bros. Brawl that can't really find a home in other places. And in this case, Super Smash Bros. For Wii U.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't forget about Wii U, man.
Yeah, I'm like as I am abnormally excited to be able to commentate Smash Wii U again this weekend. I am like so excited.
Just
but,
like the old days.
yeah, so obviously yeah, but obviously like the storylines going into this tournament is like, how are the EVO quote unquote drownies gonna rebound? Like that's always the question you ask for, like when you see, top 15, 20 players kind of take like a stumble and fall at one event, is like how you bounce back. So, I'm curious to see how Nairo and Mars and MVD of the like are gonna do, especially Nairo, because he historically does very well at Super Smash Con. So I don't know what you guys are looking forward to going into the weekend.
So it's kind of it is a mixed match because you have a lot of players from all over the place. So it's just like, even the people who did drown, like there's good potential. Like they're gonna run into like really good people in bracket, like in pools at that. So I don't know. As far as expectations go, I do wonder if things like Wii U are gonna throw people off. Like I'm just looking at the people signed up for Wii U right now, which does include Nairo, Leo, DeBuzz, Salem, all those guys, and I'm just like, man, how does your brain like do that? Like, how do you go from like Wii U and then like play Switch, or I'm sorry, Ultimate, and then it's just like, God.
I am like, if there's somebody I'm like more worried about the situation is Mars, because he plays the same character in across multiple iterations of Smash. So like his muscle memory is like more likely to get kind of yucked up. But I think these pros are pros, and it's always just fun like watching these guys play games that they don't usually play. Like watching Nairo phone it in Brawl once a year, and that's my shit. I love that so much, and
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to see him defend his Super Smash Bros. Brawl crown for a third straight year. So
I'm just looking forward to Smash Masters, where I get to watch like Mewtwo King and someone else like camp out with like Kirby or whatever.
Mewtwo King is actually commentating Smash Masters. He's not competing in it
What?
this year.
No way.
Yeah, so Mewtwo King, I noticed because just lifted up the curtain by the time this podcast goes up. I'm commentating Smash Masters in some capacity this
Ooh, look at
weekend.
you.
Yeah, I had to look up Smash 64 footage today. My God, that's a lot. But
Let me ask you, how do you like the fat rat?
he's a chunky boy. I'm a big fan.
Big
But,
fan?
Moving right along promptly, swiftly. But yeah, so basically, Smash Masters is a very different iteration than it has been the last few years. The pool is only 4 players, being Zero, Larry, Salem, and MKLeo, and they're going to be competing across the 5 games. So probably for time constraints, they didn't want to bring too many cooks into the kitchen. And Mewtwo King, I think, is pretty much on the second half of his career right now. I think he's very comfortable being a coach and in this case a commentator for the weekend.
Interesting. Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be fun and it's gonna be interesting because neither of the 4 players entering have melee as their primary game. And I feel like usually the melee players are the ones that are in the advantage going into these things because they obviously if you look at past winners, I think Mewtwo King's won the last 2 years they've done this. And it's also just fun watching these players play other games. And I've had to do a lot of digging to find shit to talk about for this. So it's definitely going to be fun. And it's usually one of my favorite side events of the weekend. So
Yeah, it'll be interesting, man. I just remember watching this last year and just watching yeah, it was this set that's on the screen right now. It was Mewtwo King and Larry just sort of camped each other with Kirby, just waiting for one to go into the other's up tilt. And I was just like, what am I watching, man? Look, look, they're doing it right now. Look, they just wait.
Kirby's up tilt hitbox is the size of 3 Kirbys in one. Fun fact. That movie
I keep a GIF of the visualization of it on my phone just to show people what Smash 64 is summarized.
Yeah, Smash 64 is an anime game.
Look at this,
It
man.
really is. One touch, you die. I love 64. It's actually my second favorite out of all of the Smash games.
It's actually, as I'm peering over, looking at them use, I forget that the controller is just so different. Like the N64 controller. I'm like, why are they holding it so weird? And I'm like, oh, right. That's why.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I think a fond memory I have is watching. I think it was Wizrobe versus Esam from 2 or 3 years ago, and Wizrobe actually took a game off of Esam, Pikachu versus Marth and Brawl, and then he tripped into an Ice Climber's chain grab, and I'm just like, yep, that sounds about right. So that's a fun side event to look forward to this weekend. They're doing that Heavies Invitational side event this year with the top 8 heaviest characters in the game, which will be featuring New Jersey's own Nairo and Atomisk this weekend.
Oh, wait, is Leon going?
He is. I don't know if that... he's not?
Yeah, actually, he's not because I don't see him seated.
Yeah, I was told he was unable to attend.
GG's, man. That sucks.
That's sad.
Yeah, it's a shame, especially because he got body going to EVO too. So that
canceled
sucks.
flights feels bad.
Yeah, feels real bad. So yeah, so what's something? Because Chris, this is your first time attending Super Smash.
Yeah,
correct?
I just kind of want to see how the whole thing runs because I've heard nothing but good things about SmashCon for the past several years. So
yeah, it's a lot of fun, and especially if you've ever been to a convention before, because that's also one of the best parts about this tournament is that there's so many vendors to buy from. I'm looking forward to spending copious amounts of money that I don't need to spend, but I will because I'm a glutton for punishment.
Yeah. Well, that's the one good thing is I'll probably be working for a good part of the weekend where I won't even I won't have the opportunity to spend money. Actually, that's not true. Sunday I will. I could spend all my money Sunday, but I don't want to.
That's the time to go to Artist Alley, man. People are trying to get rid of inventory. You gotta haggle these people.
Huh.
It's listen, man. I know you don't want to have to go home with this Kagome figure. Listen, you want to get rid of it. I want to buy it. Let's talk.
Yeah, it's real simple here.
Yeah, you can talk to other people. I am the pro at finding the deals at these things. I taught Ralphie everything he knows about shopping at a convention.
Interesting. I would have never thought.
Dude, I'm a weeb on a budget, man. I'm dangerous. I know how to talk to people. If one of my favorite memories is watching Gons just undress this guy trying to sell a Mario controller, and just finding every way to have this guy bring down the dollar value. It was art.
That's the Gonzalez, man. He knows.
It was just sheer beauty. Frank, what's your favorite vendor to stop by at these things? I'm curious.
So depending on whether or not he's vending, I typically make it a point to hunt down Drizzen of Underworld Games just to say hi. I feel like it's almost cameo status that he's just at everything.
Oh yeah, Drizzen has like supreme amount of mileage. Like he's everywhere, like you said.
Besides that, not so much vendors, but I love hunting down whenever there's some sort of indie showcase. I just like to see games in development, different art styles and stuff, things that like would never fly upon my timeline on Twitter or just like pop up on the internet. And thankfully, the indie showcase is coming back for Super Smash Con. It's getting its own like little corner of the convention space.
So is Rivals at Super Smash Con again this year?
Doesn't look like.
Yes, it is.
Oh, wait, is it?
Okay, how about that?
Rivals of Aether, as well as Slap City and a numerous other amount of party games will be in attendance.
That's so
They're
weird.
like isolated, but they are there.
Why isn't
I'm
it?
excited.
Why isn't it on the Smash GG page? I was just thinking about. I don't see Rivals. Is like Brawlhalla and all those games going?
Brawlhalla, I'm not too certain because I don't talk to anyone in Brawlhalla besides Flambeau. But I do know that Rivals and Slap City were on some sort of like secondary Smash GG page for side events.
Interesting.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because
Interesting.
I'm mostly interested in Brawlhalla now because I noticed I could play as John Cena or The Rock.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
hype.
see my pocket John Cena and also my pocket Jake from Adventure Time because those characters can fucking fight each other canonically now. It's fine.
Dude, this is like super ambitious crossover. This is coming out tomorrow too.
You know, on the note of ambitious crossovers, just want to take a quick moment to celebrate everything that was announced for EVO, because Brawlhalla is not the only game to get some question marks and exclamation points for characters that are residing out of their universe.
That's true. This is probably a good time to talk about that because that's something I forgot when we talked about EVO, is that the top 8 announcements were all stellar this year, and also the one bait of why was David Hayter on stage.
That Snake
Oh, he was
trailer,
tight about that, by the way.
Yeah, he
was really tight about that if you look up on Twitter. We don't need to get into the beef, but that was a no-no.
I thought it was fantastic, but TLDR Evo did not have permission to use David Hayter's like this for that.
Dude, why did they do that? Why did they? That was the weirdest thing to do because they basically announced Snake for what Tekken, and then they're like it wasn't real. That's the strangest thing ever.
In the Tekken community, phrasing any good set or tournament as good as Tekken is like it's like a sacred phrase. Like, fun fact, it's one of the only times that swearing of any capacity is not only allowed but encouraged during official Tekken tournaments. Like, good ass Tekken is something you could put on a plaque and sell. So getting Snake to say it is kind of a big deal. But at the same time, that also implies that Snake is going to be sticking around a lot longer than just a simple cameo.
Yeah, but instead we get it starts with a Z. What's the girl's name?
Oh,
from what?
I'm forgetting now.
From Tekken.
No, so Tekken. All right. Well, someone looks that up. I'll
Yu?
cover the other characters. I know Soul Calibur is getting.
Who are they getting? Wait, did you just cut out at like literally the worst time, or did I? Hold on, I think I did. I'm coming.
Did upon the season pass.
Wait, hold on.
For Samurai Showdown.
Yeah, that was so like
that
right,
I think gave
right when you were about to say
gave like a frail suit.
Right,
what's up?
Right when you were about to say who came out, it cut. So it was like the most suspenseful moment I've had all day.
So it's a character from Samurai Showdown, basically Soul Calibur and Samcho are crossing over.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So there was that, and then there's another character they announced for Soul Calibur. Like we said earlier, Blaze Blue Cross Tag is getting 9 new characters. One of which was one of which is a tank, by the way. Fun fact.
That tank looks so handsome.
It was somebody's job to animate that.
Dude, it's so good. I gotta find
They
it.
had to redraw him because if you look at footage of Akatsuki Blitzkampf, like they're sprites, they're traditional sprites. Someone had to draw Blitz Tank and all of his beauty.
Blitz tank.
So like, is that another fighting game? Because I'm not actually familiar with that IP.
Yes. So Akatsuki Blitzkampf is a fighting game from 2007. I'll let you Google the plot behind it because it's very strange. It's definitely one of those like throwaway fighting game plots, and it has a number of really interesting characters. The only reason anyone should know about this fighting game outside of like the depths of next level or random fighting game scenes would be because the lead character Akatsuki is a guest character in Under Night In-Birth.
Right.
So his inclusion to Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle was kind of expected, considering he's a fan favorite that crossed over into a different game that's crossing over here. Blitz Tank, on the other hand, while not the worst character in the game, is a big meme, with emphasis on big.
Dude, look at this. Look at this. This is the picture.
I just can't.
Dude.
I have a picture of his face taped to the wall in the Aeon production room.
Oh my god, this picture at Tiananmen Square. Holy shit, dude.
Look at his beautiful smile. I don't even have my phone out to look at what's on screen. Just
Yeah,
look at his beautiful smile.
He's got a nice way about him.
It's so funny. And also, so the other characters they announced was the Neapolitan from Ruby, as well as the character from Senra Kagura, aka Titty Simulator. But that's neither here nor there. So yeah, Blaze Blue continuing to get love in all spots. And I think my personal favorite, and I think most people echo my sentiments, is the announcement of Leroy Smith, the coolest character in Tekken history.
Oh my god. So
like,
everyone expected an original character and a guest character. So when we got a returning character, I think she was from Tekken 5, I believe?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, her name starts with a Z. I'm not going to bother butchering the name, but she makes a comeback. And then Leroy Smith, the coolest original character to drop in a fighting game. And I don't know how long.
Yeah, like that. He has so much drip, and like the memes are fantastic so far. Like that's my favorite part about these. But I'm also like kind of glazing over, which in my opinion was the most exciting announcement. Guilty Gear is getting a new game in 2020.
So, fun fact: I was out for dinner with the production team, the Gen Game production team, after Summer Split, and when that announcement happened, I screamed in the middle of a restaurant. Dude, a solid job of being an embarrassment, but oh my god!
So, like, this is the first EVO in a minute that Guilty Gear wasn't present, correct?
Yes, Arc System Works has a tendency of utilizing whatever their most recent game is as being their signature main stage. So, for instance, we haven't seen Guilty Gear Rev 2 since Cross Tag Battle brought its way in, and we haven't seen the mainline Blaze Blue games on the main stage since, I guess, Xrd Sign came out.
Right. Oh yeah, I totally glazed over this during EVO too, but Under Night in Birth was also here this weekend too, and that game was a lot of fun to watch. So.
Dude, the gameplay looks really, really
players
good. For
and the biggest representative of my main managed to win. Let's go Clear Lamp. But also, the new version of Under Night got a trailer, so we finally seen what it is. And it gets a new character.
Nice. See, the EVO announcements are so sick, and this just looks absolutely amazing, man. Like,
dude, it looks beautiful.
It's like seeing this game looks so pretty. Guilty Gear is like one of my favorite like fighting games aesthetically, and I think lore-wise, people are predicting it's like a sequel to what the story's been so far in Guilty Gear. But you can look that up yourself. Yeah, you can look that up yourself because I know it's prequel. Yeah. Oh, that's what I meant. Prequel. Sorry, I'm running on like 3 hours of sleep.
Oh,
but
word.
you know,
Guilty Gear is the game that I grew up on. Like, I played Guilty Gear in the backs of laundromats in the town that I grew up on. And that was my fighting game of choice after I was introduced to the genre.
Nice.
Is that like the Guilty Gear equivalent of like Melty Blood in the bathroom?
It's encroaching on it because fighting games in laundromats is just like a natural habitat, or at least it was before like the internet and everyone owning a Sega Dreamcast was.
Very true. Aren't they like porting a version of Guilty Gear to the Switch? Is that still a thing that's happening?
Yes, Ascent Core Plus R, my favorite version, is
Nice.
I think it's already on the Switch. That and I think the original Guilty Gear.
I'm gonna look that up like right now, actually, as we do this. But yeah, so that's gonna be it on our backtrack to EVO. No Smash announcement though. Are any of you guys surprised by that?
Not at all.
Yeah, same.
That's fair.
I mean, we just got 2 character trailers, and one of the characters just dropped.
But I want more.
And plus, like, Nintendo doesn't always, like, they don't always do the things that everybody else does. And that's just always their thing.
Yeah, that's true. I guess figured, like, I was going off of the idea from, like, what happened last year, where like where they announced that they were doing a direct for Ultimate, but obviously that's like a horse of a different color. So it's like,
Yeah, and plus that was like when they needed the new game the most, because especially at that EVO where Smash was just like everyone hated it. It was
yeah, it was pretty bad.
Hit him with the thanks I hate it. But so
before we transition to our last topic,
Mhm.
I did want to ask, what's everybody's bold prediction for SmashCon? That's probably going to be wrong in a couple of days.
let's see here.
Bold prediction? Like,
Like what's everybody's like hot take going into the weekend?
That's tough.
I'm gonna do mine. That Yoshi guy that tweets about penises is not gonna win the 64 combo contest.
Prince? Impossible. Him and his penis will rule the combo contest, as they do every year. And he will drunkenly tweet penis in all caps, and we'll all laugh together.
My hot take, Sandstorm for top 8. Ken.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
I think he's capable.
Okay. All right. My hot take, someone is going to win their first major at SmashCon this year.
Ooh, okay.
Actually,
I don't think it's going to be a returning champ, and I don't think it's going to be one of the current kings. I think someone is stepping up for the first Ultimate title.
That'll be interesting to see, man. I wouldn't be surprised to just see MK Leo win again, but I guess that's the easy answer.
Very true.
See, I detest watching Leo win, so I always hope that someone else will. But this time, I'm just hoping someone different wins. And by different, I mean like outside of Tweak, Leo, even someone like Sora, to Buzz. Like, I want someone who's like just there to take it.
I mean, there's a lot of people in that category. In before Wishes wins SmashCon.
I'd be okay with that.
Dude, that'd be amazing, but we'll see.
I just don't want to see Wishes get 9th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, same. Definitely same.
Like,
Yeah.
please, let the lad top 8 for once. For Christ's sake, he's earned it.
Yeah, he definitely has.
It's very true. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. I'm excited. It's going to be a fun time. And we're going to quickly talk about our last topic right there, as you can see on screen. The Panda Global Top 50 rankings officially met its conclusion last week, where the top 10 players were revealed. Or top 9. Cough, cough.
Yeah, right.
Because so basically, I'm just gonna let the air out of the balloon right now. We predicted this was gonna happen on the podcast last week, where they were just gonna, if you kind of just looked at the math of the players that were left, like they it was pretty obvious that Ally was gonna get like either like shadow ranked or like just like not be on our rankings at all. And if you just look at the graphic as Chris scrolls through it, Ally was initially slated at number 6, and he is omitted.
Yeah, they skipped him.
Yeah. So what's your guys' take on this?
So just following up from last week, we've managed to.
Oh wait, hold on. What did we manage to do? I cut out again.
His statistics, and they showed his results, but he did not have like a picture of sorts showcasing his placings, X Factor, or any other additional values. So from a numeric standpoint, I personally think they left it in a good spot. I didn't watch the video, so I don't know how they had handled it in audiovisual form. But at least in the presentation of the Red Bull article, I think it was handled well.
Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I struggle with this a little bit. You're talking about number 6 in the world, so he's like a win for a lot of people, and his results are pretty relevant. I understand kind of being like not included and just kind of skipping the number. I actually like it better than just like pretending he didn't exist at all. So I could definitely appreciate that, the fact that he was ranked, but they just don't mention it. But I don't know. I get weird about statistics that aren't completely hashed out, but that's probably a personal problem.
Right, that's fair. My problem just comes with the transparency standpoint because I think the PGR came out and said that like when they said that Allies results were going to be calculated, but they weren't going to rank them. I thought that meant that they like weren't going to put them on period.
Yeah.
Which again, I understand that like
that's what was implied.
Right. Again, that's what I was assuming. And like now that I know that like technically they're not wrong in that case where like he's technically not ranked but he still calculated the data. Now that I know that this is the case that would have happened, I wouldn't have felt bad if like Allen was number 50 on the PGR and everybody just got bumped up a spot. Like looking at it now from the outside, knowing all the information that we have, I don't think a lot of people would complain about that. I don't know how you guys feel. That's just how I feel. So
I don't think anyone would ever really complain about that, especially because everyone's mostly on the Lynch train for Ally, which is a different topic. But which we got more about that story anyways that we don't have to talk about. I'm glad to bypass that, but
we're
that's
totally
for the tabloids. That's not for here.
Yeah, it's just it is interesting though. I don't know. I think it's probably good as is. I'm glad I didn't have to make the decision. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think, like I said last week on the podcast, like Dom of Panda Global, friend of ours from New Jersey, said that no matter what decision they made, they were gonna lose. But it's in the past now, and now that the top 10 is complete, notably, only one person from SoCal on the PGR period, which is Void.
Yeah,
so,
the only.
how the tables have turned.
Yeah, and then how many?
So Void and Korean have been very vocal about their
region
how
being
they
bad.
feel with SoCal being bad, just outright bad.
Yep.
So I'm expecting a paradigm shift where SoCal rises up. I feel like more of their notable players are going to try to travel. I feel like they're going to make more of an effort to bump up the events that they have so that they can try and avoid this.
Well,
yeah. And you already look at like Larry had a really good Evo for his standards. Like in a world where Larry beating somebody is an upset, like it just like speaks for how hard the mighty have fallen at the beginning of this game. But yeah, I think almost I'm just looking through the top 10 because number 10, Light, East Coast. Number 9, Void, West Coast. Number 8, Nairo, Tri-State, East Coast. Number 7 was The Buzz, East Coast, Tri-State. Number 6 doesn't exist. Moving number 5, Japan. Shout out to Shuton, by the way. Dared off of a Pikmin. Not sure if you knew that. Just want to remind you guys at home that he dared off of a Pikmin. Number 4, Samsora. Number 3, Mars. Number 2, Tweak. Number 1, MK Leo. So the power has shifted to where 9 out of 8, 8 out of the 10 people in the top 10 are on the East Coast. So
yeah.
If you want a real fun fact, 26% of the top 50 are from the tri-state area, specifically New Jersey and the NYC LI area.
Let's go.
And then you get tag in an additional +2, or you can tag in an additional +2 if you want to add SDX and Gen.
Very true. Yeah. Yeah, it's just listen. The numbers don't lie, man. The East Coast is definitely on the come up, and probably the stocks are going to continue to rise as the like you said, the paradigm shift has definitely shifted on this side. I think Void even said at one point that like SoCal's kind of ass right now, so he just might travel east for a bit to like come compete and practice.
At the very least, they
He
have
stated that he had interest in even moving to the East Coast for competitive reasons. So like,
yeah, I think he said he
just
wasn't
go to show.
Yeah, I mean, he did. I remember seeing that tweet. He said he wasn't going to, but like he did mention it. But like the good news, at least for SoCal, is they have all those Thunder Smash invitationals they could like farm.
Anyway, that's all the time we have for this week, ladies and gentlemen. So moving on right along. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Shout outs again to the top 50. This is definitely not an easy list to make. It's definitely hard, and I actually do recommend watching the PG Stats podcast that they do with Coney and Swar. They actually do a pretty good job like breaking down everything, and I listened to the bulk of them on a very long trip home the other day, and they're actually very, very enlightening. So if you're curious of the process, I highly recommend checking that out. So, but yeah, we've reached the end of our road. A pretty meaty episode today.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
Yeah, very, very dense. And again, I want to thank Frank once again. Last second, phoned in from the car to come joining us to talk about this today.
Always coming prepared and always willing to help you guys. It's been a fun one today.
Yeah, and now comes the time where we plug our stuff, and we can do that because we're all going to be, like we said, at Super Smash Con this weekend. So, you can follow me on Twitter at KoopaNJ, and it was announced earlier today. And I tweeted it myself, but I am officially commentating at Super Smash Con this weekend. And I've disclosed a little bit about what I'm doing, but I'm doing a lot of shit this weekend. So if you guys like hearing the sound of my voice and seeing me wear cool shirts, definitely peep my Twitter this weekend. I'm going to be posting what I'm doing. I'm also going to be vlogging this weekend. So that's going to be a fun thing to look forward to. So you're going to see a lot of content. I wanted to do this because I feel like there isn't a lot of content from tournaments from the perspective of commentators. So I feel like that's an avenue that would that's an itch that should be scratched. And I feel like I can kind of, show the inner workings of how that works. So definitely check that out if you guys are interested in seeing me. And who wants to go next?
Well, I'll go next. We'll save the best for last with Frank on the phone. So yeah, you can follow me at CSantoZX. I am going to actually try and make a conscious effort of kind of sending stuff from the streaming booth. I actually have my own little side stage this week. As opposed, there's the main stage that has 3 streams on it, and then on my side stage, and I think Gen Game is the other side stage. But anyways, I'll try and give you guys some good views from there, and then otherwise follow Master Hand Gaming on Twitch. That's at Master Hand Games. Find all these episodes, all the results, all the other things. We're going to be getting pretty busy the next couple months with our own events again now that the summer is ending with all the other big events. So now's a good time. But Frank?
You can follow me across social media on HangmanXII. Mostly on Twitter, though I'm making more of an effort to be on Instagram just because I need to get more into the habit of using it. But as previously mentioned, I'll also be at Super Smash Con with the Gen Game team and in general being around. If you don't hear from me, you'll definitely hear of me. I've got some surprises for the crowd, and let me just say, if you're not from Tri-State, you're going to have a bad time.
All right, then.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just glad I'm from Tri-State.
I got a lot of fun things planned this weekend.
By the way, totally downloading Guilty Gear right now. So,
yes.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, that's it this weekend. So if you guys again want to subscribe to us on YouTube first of all, because that's where this is going to go up, and where the vlog's going to go up, where my eventual vlog is going to be.
Yes, sir.
And obviously look at the SoundCloud. I don't know what rate we're going to get this up at, but if you're taking a long drive to SmashCon tomorrow, we'll keep you company for at least an hour.
Tonight.
Yeah. So we'll keep you company for at least an hour of that. So you guys can look forward to that. And yeah, we will be back next week where we'll break down Super Smash Con to a fine powder, and we can talk about all the cool shit that we bought. So.
Yeah, man, I'm down. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Peace out.